I hope your reconnaissance trip was an enjoyable one, no?
Yes, it was, Mr. Slaymaker. I know Hollister Square has become a growing concern for you.
Well, it has its merits. I don't enjoy very much working with Charles Carpenter, but he is the boss of that job.
That's right. It's a growing tax revenue, more jobs. Seems like a politician's dream.
How astute. What did you find out?
Well, Mr. Slaymaker, I realized how tedious all of those architectural facts and commercial demographics would be.
All those things sound very important.
Yeah, well, what I mean to say is, all things considered, you are more interested in the financial status of Hollister Square, as difficult to secure as that information might be.
Well, I already know the ballpark figures.
Well, let me bring you in from left field. Go ahead, it won't bite.
A profile of the major stockholders.
Fascinating reading.
Oh, you've read it?
Oh, no, sir, but that's classified information.
Norman, would you tell me how a multi-talented, highly motivated young man could possibly be on my payroll at such a degrading salary?
You tell me, sir.
I intend to reward you. Meanwhile, if I ever need anything picked up again, I'll call you first.
Thank you, sir.
Get me Vince Cardello.
Any leads in the case, John?
No, not really. The Davidsons seem to be very well liked. Scott, of course, made his enemies as a newscaster.
No. I have defended him in some of those cases. But all in all, John, they're heavyweights, corporations and lawyers.
Not the type to terrorize Miss Davidson.
I wouldn't think so. And then there was Charles Carpenter.
An enemy of the family.
Oh, yes. He fabricated a lie against Laurie Davidson in order to spring his only daughter in a bad marriage. But Scott won out.
That Carpenter's a real character. Judge Slaymaker called me in on the disappearance of his wife, Helen.
Well, now, she's a good woman. As a matter of fact, she's one of my clients.
Then Carpenter could have made those phone calls.
Oh, John, I wouldn't trust the man any farther than I could throw his net assets. But I think you're barking up the wrong trees, not your man.
Well, then tell me about Terry. What about her? I understand you're representing her in a lawsuit.
Well, now, it's launched by her sister, Nancy Lawson.
Lawson? I thought Terry's maiden name was Lindsay.
Well, Nancy's had her tour through marriage. I pity the poor man, whoever he was.
But she's not being supported.
Well, no, that's why she's sinking her teeth into the estate left by their deceased mother. What do you mean by that?
Nancy's got a motive.
You mean to have Terry harassed?
From what I've seen of Terry Davidson, she's a simple, caring woman. This court battle is obviously hard enough on her. Nancy could have hired to call her, hoping Terry would buckle under the anxiety and throw the case just to be rid of it. I don't know, Mitch. You think Nancy Lawson could be that cruel?
John, the unfortunate answer to that question is yes.
Morning. I made you some breakfast.
I thought I heard you in the kitchen, and I hope that's what you were doing.
Well, look, come sit and eat before the chef makes off with the meal.
Oh, are those crepes?
Yes, I hope you like them.
Nancy, you're going to spoil me rotten.
I hope so.
Well, aren't you going to have any?
Well, for me, the joy is in the preparation.
Well, I didn't know you liked to cook.
Oh, yes. In fact, that's what Terry and I used to fight about all the time. I was always wanting to cook the family meals. She wouldn't let me anywhere near the kitchen.
You know, I always knew there was a least attractive side that the Davidsons had that they never showed anybody else.
I'm not crazy about their other side, either. Honestly, Charles, the way you eat, you would think you hadn't been served a good breakfast in ages.
Well, I am certainly not going to argue with you there.
But didn't Miriam cook for you?
Miriam? Not at all. Do you know, I bet her one time she couldn't boil water. So she filled the pot, put it on the stove, punched the dial, and left the room in a rage. I had to call her back.
Oh, gosh.
Because she put the pot on the wrong burner.
All beauty and no brains, eh?
No, not all beauty. 5 years ago, it was all beauty.
Charles, you're absolutely evil.
Oh, never. I'm just telling the truth. Miriam is still my little girl.
Oh, that's nice.
However, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's a 30-year-old little girl. She's never going to grow up as long as I'm around.
Forever?
Well, let's just say for quite a while.
Charles, with you moving out of the house and all, am I right in assuming that...
You're not assuming. You're presuming.
Oh.
And you presume correctly.
Hey, Gene.
Hey.
Morgan called, and the report on Whitmore Parkway is, what happened to your shoes?
Oh, I was over at Protochem site. This is a hazard of a job. You know, you would have think I would learn by now, but...
I thought you had already okayed the Protochem permit.
I did. I just wanted to double check that preliminary sewage work.
Well, that's what you get for throwing yourself into your work.
Oh, one for the assistant, none for the manager. Ah.
Well, I'm glad you finally decided to give Protochem their permits. I couldn't take Webster calling anymore.
Oh, hey, listen, I saw him pull up when I came in here, so we better make sure that we have those final papers.
I've got them right here.
Good. Thanks.
Was it Webster who fired Samantha Marshall?
Indirectly. He went through Slaymaker to get rid of Sam.
I heard that you and Sam had a...
You heard right.
I'm sorry if it's a sore spot. I just wanted to make sure my information came from you and not the cafeteria grapevine.
No. Listen, little lady. I miss Sam very much. But if you start me thinking about her again, I'm just gonna sit here at my desk, stare off into space, and you're gonna have to do all the work by yourself.
Hey, I didn't say a word.
Okay.
Miss Lang. Well, it's about time, Redland.
Hello, Harold. I saw you pull up.
Hey, look at these. You know, I always did say you guys dragged your feet around here.
Real funny. I was over at Protochem site today.
Yeah, well, you have made a number of investors and contractors real happy with your long-awaited decision.
Yeah, I saw the $sign ring up in their eyes.
Well, here's the record of our correspondence for the last 8 months, as well as our forecast for the signing of independence.
Well, glad to see you're so thorough.
Well, I've been working on it for quite some time.
Oops.
What oops?
I don't see a power of attorney in here.
Okay. We've been working together on this for what?
No, that's not the point, Harold. You see, I can't give you my signed version of that permit until you show me the power of attorney document.
That's cheap, Redland.
No, that's law, Webster. You see, we're as thorough as you thought you were being.
You know, you have a genius for making the wrong enemies.
Hey, no, just don't go pouting there, Webster. I mean, you just get that little paper, bring it back over here, and you'll get the permit. I mean, what's a little drive over to your client's office? About 15 minutes?
You know something? I can do the same thing for you I did for Sam.
Is that a promise?
Hey, Gene, you hardly ever ask for power of attorney. What'd you do that for?
Old time's sake, little lady.
Just the man I was looking for.
Hi, John. Come to share some old squad car memories?
You just want to hear what a good rookie you were.
Well, with Captain Garfield around, a man needs a little encouragement.
Listen, if you have a little time, I need to ask you some questions about Scott Davidson's accident.
Wouldn't do it for anyone but you.
You talked to the driver who hit Scott's car.
Yeah, his name was Dennis Frazier.
Tell me about it.
That's not easy.
He's a real nut, huh?
No, just the opposite. It's the most typical guy you'd ever want to meet. Successful businessman, 2 kids, a boat.
Still married?
12 years. To his high school sweetheart.
Boy, you did some digging.
Well, I wanted to find out what was wrong with him. Why the accident? All I could come up with was a man had had too much to drink on New Year's Eve. Shouldn't have been driving. Wish I could help you more.
No, that's all right. Terry Davidson's been getting these weird phone calls.
Threats?
Not exactly. Tell me now, did this Dennis character, was he affected by the accident?
Well, when he sobered up a little, I told him what had happened, and he froze up. Didn't say a word until the next afternoon, and then I couldn't shut him up.
Have you talked to him recently?
I saw his wife yesterday. I dropped by to tell him what was going to happen at the inquiry, and she said he'd stepped out. Said he keeps going on these long walks by himself. Hardly sleeps, eats poorly. Sounds pretty bad.
Do you think he's dangerous?
I think he's going through something he's never gone through before. And that's always dangerous.
Oh, Father.
How are you, Miriam?
Oh, I'm just fine. What do you think of the room?
Well, it looks very nice. Who did you hire?
Oh, that's very funny. I did it all by myself. I even went next door and borrowed some furniture polish, and look at this desk.
Practically shines.
Oh, you should have seen it this morning when the sun hit. It was beautiful. I suppose you had something better to do this morning and last night? Would it help to say that I really worried about you?
Miriam, I'm really quite able of taking care of myself.
Well, Daddy, now that you're back, I am going to take care of you because I know I've just been a terrible brat of a daughter and a really miserable housekeeper. I know that, but that's all going to turn around now because I'm really going to change.
Miriam, I came
Daddy,
here...
don't say anything, Daddy, because I just want to make a full apology because I know you don't have any... Who are they?
Start with the upstairs closets. Take the first door to the right.
Oh, no, Daddy, you're not.
I'm just moving my clothes out. The appliances, the polished furniture, that all stays.
No, really, you're overreacting to this whole thing.
I would hardly think so. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time.
You what?
Miriam, don't take this personally. I'm still your father, and I'll take care of you. I'll pay your expenses and your rent. But we've come to a crossroads of sorts.
No, Daddy, I want you to get them out of here.
Miriam!
No, you just cannot do this to me.
Miriam, I am doing it for you. This is a beginning for you. This is a chance for you to let go of my coattails and stand on your own 2 feet. Find your own place in life. I'm not pushing you out of the nest. I'm turning it over to you entirely. Well, what's the matter?
This is Nancy's address is on the mover sheet.
Well, she was good enough to offer me a place to stay.
You mean my own father's gonna be moving in with this girl?
Nancy is hardly a girl.
Well, compared to you, she's about a kindergartner.
I find her very mature for someone her age, a quality I hope that you'll have someday.
Well, and I don't go around taking frustrated post-middle-aged men up off the street and bring them into my house, do
Now,
I?
that's enough, Miriam. I don't think it's necessary for us to be unreasonable. Actually, I hope that you wouldn't be here.
Oh, Daddy, don't you see? She is just using you.
I said that's enough.
No, she is using. She's going to use you for every single penny you're worth.
Miriam, even if that were the case, I wouldn't mind. All the women in my life have used me one way or the other. This time, I'll be enjoying a greater return.
I hope we can accomplish more this time than last time, Mitch.
Unfortunately, I think you'll find what I have to say quite profitable.
Unfortunately?
Being the victim of unyielding grief and telephone harassment, as well as a reluctant party in this hideous lawsuit, Terry Davidson's at her wit's end.
Well, that sounds promising. Get to the point.
She wants to settle out of court.
As we all do. Has she upped the ante?
We'll give you the house and the settlement.
Well, now you're coming around. Slow, but sure.
I'm not coming around. I've arrived. That is our final offer.
It's reasonable.
No, it is not reasonable. It's ridiculous. Now, you take that phony will and that phony smile and you go to that illegitimate, unadopted, all but disowned client of yours, and you tell her about our final offer.
Well, Mitch, how do you know all those things about Nancy?
Terry filled me in, eventually.
Can't prove it.
Webster, if you push this lawsuit, I am going to prove one way or another that Nancy was never adopted, and that she is, therefore, not entitled to any part of Nora's estate. She has no rights. Now, there are records, Webster, and files, and county registers. You want me to start digging into these?
I'll talk to my client immediately.
So what do you want, Norman?
Take a look out the window. Go. It's a new car.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, let's go out there and get in it and go out to dinner, huh?
Never give up, do you?
Yeah, and sooner or later you're gonna see that as a compliment. You know, I'm no longer the sniveling, bullied college preppy anymore, huh? I've taken a step up.
Now I suppose you're the sniveling, bullied young executive.
Well, I didn't say it was a big step.
Well, actually, Norman, I do take your interest as a compliment. And dinner sounds fine.
Great. Yeah, let Charles cook his own meal for once.
Well, actually, you're not going to have to worry about Daddy getting in your way anymore.
What do you mean?
He's moved out.
I know.
Well, that's pretty frightening, isn't it, that he would be that cruel to leave his own daughter?
Sure. Now you know what they mean by child abuse.
Norman, that isn't funny to me.
Oh, all right, okay. I'll be serious. Where did he go?
You moved in with Nancy Lawson?
Oh, no.
You're being so insensitive. I can't believe it.
Charles Carpenter shacks up.
Norman, would you just go out and warm up the car or something?
All right, look, I'm sorry, really. There's nothing like a father that leaves you for another woman.
You're laughing your way out of this dinner date.
All right. All right, I'll stop. What are those?
These are conversation pills to get me through an evening with you.
You want me to get you some water?
No, I'll get the water. You just go start up the car.
All right, but look, Miriam, you know what? Now with your father gone, it's gonna get pretty lonely around here. Now, don't tell me you haven't thought about that.
It's gone through my mind.
Mm-hmm. Probably more times than you'd care to remember, huh? We could have a lot of fun. And I'd take care of your bills for you.
Well, Daddy said he'd pay the rent.
Uh-huh, plus all expenses. Somehow I think that Daddy isn't gonna worry too much about keeping you happy. Somehow I think that's like the last thing on his mind right now.
I'll think about it.
Make it quick, Webster. I'm going out tonight.
Who with?
Oh, just a good friend.
How good?
Well, you might say we're practically roommates. So what's your good news? I'm almost done here.
I guess this would be the wrong time to say I'm a little jealous.
Oh, no competition, Webster.
You mean that?
Yep. You're absolutely no competition for this guy.
Thanks.
I got one more nail left.
Mitch Dunbar paid me a fortunate and well-timed visit this afternoon. He wanted to discuss settlement.
Are they in the run?
Yeah, but Dunbar said that they'd retreated as far as they could, so I was issued a very attractive ultimatum. They're giving us the house, hands down.
And?
What and? Just what they offered before, a quarter of the estate plus the house. Hey, look, maybe I ought to review this case a little bit the way I see it. First of all, you're entitled to absolutely no part of the Lindsay estate. Your whole case is based on a forged will that could earn both of us several years in prison, fines, the loss of my profession, not to mention what's left of the best years of your life. Look, absolutely everybody over there knows absolutely everything about every lie we have told, and still they're willing to offer you properties worth over $100,000. Now, what do you think would be the wisest thing for you to do?
Rats, I just smudged a nail after 45 minutes of wasted time.
Now, don't talk to me about wasted time. You're being ridiculous. Even I'm shocked.
Hey, look, Webster, you know it wasn't just the house I was after.
I know. You were looking for revenge. I made the mistake of deciding that 6 figures worth of revenge would be enough.
I'm not paying you to make my decisions.
Oh? Well, then why is it I get the feeling that if and when this whole thing blows up in your face, I'm gonna get all the blame?
With an attitude like that, you know, I don't still have to keep you working.
Hey, look, I'm not being a defeatist, just honest. The whole thing is like a game of egg toss. Now, every time you refuse a settlement offer, you have to take a giant step backwards. Now, pretty soon they're gonna throw something at you won't be able to catch. Now, you go on and do your nails. Like, I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. This is the best offer you're gonna get. But you're right. The decision is yours.
And my answer is no.